Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Jesse Kenywa. Once again, we are looking at this topic, sources of capital to leverage your business. Now that you have come up with a good idea and you have prepared a business plan, it is important that we consider sources of capital. Where can you get capital to inject so that you can start that business, or you can expand it? Probably you have already started it, you want to grow it further, and you may want to look for for sources of income to expand and grow your business to maybe new territories or to other market segments. So one source of business, one source of capital is the entrepreneur's own capital. This may be from your personal savings, or you could be working and you may decide to retire early, and therefore you have saved some money that you can invest in your business. Or you could sell some assets so that you can inject into your business. So that's one way, by having your own money that you have either saved, or you have some assets that you can sell off and you can get some capital to initiate that business or to expand it. You also have informal investors. Informal investors may come from your family. Maybe from your friends or from your family, and in this case, there could be expectation on return, and when they will be and when you are when you can negotiate informally with them, so that you can agree maybe on modality or how you can get that capital to invest, with informal agreement, maybe to repay with interest or with no interest. You can also consider informal capital networks, and these are groups of people who share some situation. For instance, if you're in a foreign nation and you get to know some of your colleagues who are from the same motherland, you can come together and you can come up with a platform whereby or arrangement whereby you could be lending money to each other. So that could be another source of income. We do also have business angels. Business angels these are individuals or small groups of individuals who offer capital for new innovative ventures. So business angels, they are normally well developed in developed countries, and in developing countries they may not be well entrenched, but this could also be another source of income. They normally lead to new entrepreneurs who are coming up with innovative business, and they look at it and be able to see that this business has a high probability of success. And in case you have been in business and you want to expand your business, you can consider having some retained earnings. Instead of sharing all the dividend among your partners, among your shareholders, you can retain some earning with the intention of plowing it back to the business. So that way you'll be able to expand your business and to grow, to move to even foreign territory, and that can give you the much needed capital. You can also consider commercial banks loans, and we all know about commercial banks loans. This could be normal lending programs, or it could be special lending programs. And this may include, for instance, loan for purchase of assets, In case you want to expand your business by acquiring some assets, you can consider commercial bank loan, or it may be meant for to be used as a working capital, or you can explore overdraft. Although overdrafts are a bit expensive, but if you don't have any other source, you can consider them. But you can also negotiate for good rates. You can also join investment clubs. Investment clubs are meant to help members who have a desire to invest in certain areas, and that's another option whereby if you join such a club, you'll be investing, and you can make investment as a group or as an individual, and they can extend credit facility for you. We also have microfinance institutions. These are end-use and community-based organizations, and they do also give credit facility to entrepreneurs to expand their business and even to start business ventures. The interest rate is not normally very high, but you may also have to do your homework to look at the rates so that you decide the best source of your the best source of capital for your expansion or for starting that business venture. You can consider venture capitalists. So venture capital, these are funds, they normally fund in new innovative businesses in return for ownership, stake. And they normally operate more like mutual trust funds. So normally what happens is that the venture capitalists, once they assess a business opportunity, they are able to know innovative businesses that are likely to grow and become large companies, large organizations, and their intention is to inject some capital in that business in return of ownership, in return for shares, so that as the company grows, their capital will also be appreciating, and after some time, they are able to sell those their stock, and they will have made capital gain out of it. Alternatively, you may consider public flotation. You can sell your shares in the stock market, and the stock markets are normally regulated by the capital market authorities in many countries, and they normally have many conditions that you may have to adhere to before you are allowed to sell your shares in the capital markets. For instance, you may have to engage legal experts, you may have to engage accountants to prepare documents like prospectus, so that there would be share buyers. They will be able to see the value of your business, and they can make consideration as to whether they are going to buy your shares or not. Governments do also give credit. We have, in many countries, we have government institutions that give credit facilities to investors, for instance, for manufacturing, or even for starting businesses. So you can explore that avenue, and they are there in many countries. Alternatively, you can, if you are a researcher and you have already come up with a novel idea that has been funded, you can also consider including commercialization of that particular project, so that after doing the research and there is a positive result, commercialization can be done. Donation of this kind is not paid back, nor are you required to pay interest for that matter. Now, you will also need to consider, you need to make some consideration in choices of source of finance. And one consideration that you may have to make is suitability of the credit facility that you are pursuing. So the type of fund should harmonize with the kind of use that is being sought for. So whenever you are looking for funding, you may need to consider suitability of that loan. For instance, if your investment is in agriculture, you cannot go for a loan whereby you'll be required to pay a monthly installment, because your investment will not give you a return every month. So you have to make that consideration. So you may look for financiers that can consider your case. You also need to think about control, the level of control. So the source of capital should leave the owner with the ability to have some reasonable control of the business. So if you're an investor who is interested in having majority shares or control, then you may want to consider sources of income that will give you the control that you need. Consider also the volume and stability of income in the invested project or business. So this will determine your ability to repay. What is the volume of cash flow and cash outflow? What is the probable level of income? Probably you have been in that business for some time and you want to expand it, so you'll be able to give with accuracy the volume of cash inflow and outflow. So you need to consider that, because you need to weigh the ability to repay back the loan. Consider also flexibility. The source should be adjustable as need arises. So at times you may find that you have done good planning, but changes may happen in the external environment, and you may find that your expectation may not be met, and you may want to request for changes in maybe the way you are repaying the loan. So that flexibility is important, so that in case there was a calamity and maybe you are a farmer who had invested in farming business and now there is flooding, you'll not be able to repay that loan the way you had planned. So you may request for the scheduling of the loan. So flexibility is important. Consider also economic factors, e.g. the level of business activity, capital markets, the tax development. Yes, that is also an important factor to consider, because the level of business activity will also determine the income that you are likely to earn. Consider characteristics of business or characteristic of the industry. Is your business seasonal, or is the industry, does the industry have seasonality? So that probably you find that in some month the sales are low, in some other month the sales are very high. So those are the seasonality that you're talking about. You may need to understand the industry, so that when it comes to scheduling the repayment of loan, you'll be taking into consideration the seasonality. The level of competition, what is the level of competition in that industry, and how are you likely to compete with the already existing firms in that industry. The regulation in that industry. You find that some industries are heavily regulated, others are not. So you will also be making that consideration, so that you factor it in. What is the growth potential? So the growth potential of your business in that industry will be determined by the industry. In some industry, you find that they are growing very fast, but some industry, they may have already reached the maturity stage. so they are no longer growing. Maybe they are declining. So consider the potential for growth in that industry. Characteristic of business. What is the characteristic of business? And this may include, for instance, the legal forms, the size of the business, the status in the industry, and the availability of credit. You will need also to consider principles of fundraising. Whenever you are raising funds to expand your business or to start that novel business, you need to consider ability. You need to have the ability to ask, and this you need to be clear about what you want from the financial. Until you know what you want, you may not be able to ask it in the way it is in a proper manner. So a good business plan, for instance, may help in this case, so that if you have prepared a good business plan, then you'll be able to see why you need to borrow money and for what reason. Your personal approach also matter. Decisions normally are based on relationships, so it is imperative that you cultivate a trust relationship. So if you have been a customer in that commercial bank, for instance, and you have been borrowing a loan in that institutions, probably you started by borrowing little amount of capital, then you repay the bank, and you continue to increase in stages, then you will have already built trust in that with the manager, with the management, and in that institution. Credibility is also key. So good PR and credibility is extremely critical when you are borrowing a loan to expand your business. Understand the financiers' need. What are they looking for? So it is important that you understand what the financiers are looking for, so that you can provide that information. Once you know what they are looking for, you'll be able to satisfy them. You'll be able to provide the information that they are asking for, and you'll be able to get that capital. Target the right person who will make the decision. For instance, you can target the branch manager in case that is the person who is making decision at that level. You can target him or her, so that you get to know the status of your loan, instead of taking too long, maybe waiting to know the status. You have to ask for the loan at the right time. Right timing is important. So whenever you are looking for credit facility, right timing. You need to do the right timing. Ask for that loan at the right time. And in most cases, you find that if you have already started a business and you have started making some sales, the financiers will be ready to finance an already existing business, because you can give evidence that these are the sales that you have been able to generate. Now we want to move to new territories, and that is the essence of borrowing that money. Negotiate carefully in all agreements that you are going to sign. So it is important that you negotiate. So don't take any proposal. You can negotiate. So avoid overcommitting yourself. If you don't believe that you'll be able to repay the loan every month, you need to be able to say so. Consider the cost of capital, the interest rate, and you can negotiate. If you have been a good customer, you can always negotiate for better rates. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that there are many sources of business loan for an entrepreneur, and you may need to consider the costs and the level of leverage that you need. Also consider the control. What level of control do you want to have in that business? So if you don't care much about the control, you may go for selling of part of that organization, selling of shares. You may need to know how to ask and whom to target for that matter. also build credibility by ensuring that you are repaying your loan on time. If you do that, you'll be able to grow your business, you'll be able to continuously borrow, repay the loan, and go for another loan for expansion. So thank you so much for listening. Ensure that you subscribe and hit the like button very hard, so that next time when you have another episode, you'll be able to get it very easily. Thank you, and God bless.